All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And before we start, I would just like to let you guys know that I'm going to be doing the fight predictions for the whole UFC Fight Night card, the main card, that is. So there's going to be 6 fights. So I'm going to be starting with Bobby Green against Alan Patrick. So yeah, if you guys want to see more predictions like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when I post. And you can see these predictions. Yeah, so first of all, we have the battle of the lightweights here on Fight Night. So this Fight Night is going to be taking place September the 12th between Bobby Green and Alan Patrick. And so before we go any further, I just want to discuss the odds with you guys because I know you're interested. So Green is the favorite right now at minus 250. And then on the other hand, we have Alan Patrick, who's the underdog at plus 200. So let's start with Bobby Green. And listen, his nickname is the King. So right off the bat, you know, you've got to put some respect on that name. But other than that, he's been in absolutely impressive form. So he's coming into Fight Night with 2 straight victories, which took place against Clay Guida and Lando Vannata, and both finished via decision. And specifically, the reason why Bobby grew on me is because of the speech that he recently gave after his fight against Lando Vannata. He basically got, like, he was filled with a lot of emotion, and basically he was extremely happy about the win, and he basically said that he did it for his kids and that he's trying to pave a path for them. And he basically just said how he had an absolute huge heart, and that he was going to give it his all in whatever battle was to come. And it's true, like we've seen it in his most recent fights, but also in the fights that took place in the past. And so yeah, he also talked about how he fractured his hand before the fight and how he had to fight through that. And so all these different things gave me the idea that he's an extremely hungry fighter. His latest fight actually was at around late August, which goes to show that he's a really active fighter as well and that he wants to keep going. Another thing that he said during this speech, which was really eye-opening, was the fact that he wanted to buy that new house, or was that he wanted to buy a new house. And so, you know, he has all these different things that he's fighting towards, like so many life goals that he's trying to achieve. And so that's just something that I love to see in fighters, because it gives them that extra drive to push more, you know. And it's, you know, it's bigger than the fame or bigger than the, you know, like the actual check. Like we're talking about making legacy and then fighting for his kids. And it's just, you know, you can't dislike a guy like that. And so just right off the bat, yeah, like Bobby Green is one of my favorites. With this being said, though, I mean, he's not the only UFC fighter that is in such situation. You have a lot of them that are looking to try and always make more money to pay the bills or to help their family. So you also have to look at, when making a fight prediction, at their actual fighting ability. And with this being said, we have Bobby Green, he's been in the game since 2008. And before having fought in the UFC, he fought in other divisions such as the Warriors Fighting Championship, KOTC, as well as Strikeforce. So he's basically dabbled around a lot of different divisions, which goes to show that he has some experience in whatever fighting game he decides to, you know, take part in. And overall, he has a record of 26 wins and 10 losses, and he continues to remain hungry. So in 2020, he is entering his 3rd fight. And again, like, this goes to show how relentless he is to always try and, you know, fight more and to try and continue to climb the ladder. Because in the past, he was fighting against top guys. Not saying he's not fighting against top guys now, but he was at a level around 3-4 years ago that I think he could have maintained had he not taken his foot off the gas pedal. But now he's slowly inching towards that same level. As a fighter, we know that he is one that puts a lot of pressure. He tries to drive people towards the cage, a lot of fast punches, kicks. And he, you know, whenever he enters a fight, he always looks to gain ground, which is always interesting to look at because he has so many different ways in which he does this. And at the same time, we've looked at his resume. We saw that he's 26-10. And most specifically of those wins, he actually has 8 via knockout, technical knockout, 9 via submission, and 9 via decision, which also tells us that, you know, if he wants to finish the fight on the ground, he can do that. If he wants to take it... What did I do wrong? If he wants to take it into the deeper rounds, he can do that. And if he just wants to lay you out, he can do that as well. So Bobby Green, we've talked about him, but who is he facing? Who is Alan Patrick? And the reason why I ask is because his last fight was in 2018. And like right off the bat, if you look at some of this guy's records, like his latest fights, they are extremely inconsistent. So like he'll fight maybe once and then take a 2-year layover and then fight again and then take another year of layover. And I mean, you know, right off the bat, you see something like this and then you're like, okay, but you know, if we want to compare Alan Patrick's fighting rate against Bobby Green's fighting rate, Bobby Green is entering his 3rd fight in 2020. Alan Patrick has fought 3 times in the last 5 years. You know, it sort of begs, you know, it makes you think, right? Having said this, however, you can't take away from the fact that Alan Patrick has a phenomenal record, 15 wins and 2 losses. But again, just to give perspective, his last fight was when Khabib fought McGregor in UFC 229. If you continue to look at his record, Alan Patrick has also won a lot of fights via decision. But if you look closer, you notice that the 2 losses that he suffered were both via knockout. And so I think this could be something where that Bobby Green can capitalize on. Because, you know, what this tells me is that Alan Patrick sort of like throws some flying kicks out of the blue. Like he'll throw jabs, but, you know, he won't bring it back. So these kinds of openings are definitely something that Bobby Green can take to his advantage and hopefully strike. And however, what has to be said is that Alan Patrick has the advantage if we want to talk about the jiu-jitsu standpoint. He has a black belt. And then on the other hand, Bobby Green has a brown belt. So if I was Bobby Green and I was coming into this fight against Alan Patrick, I would, you know, keep this at the back of my mind. Maybe not go for takedowns, try to keep the fight on the feet as much as possible. For a fighter like Alan Patrick, I don't see him getting that overhand right knockout against someone like Bobby Green, but I am going to, like, I could see this having to be decided by the final decision, unless Alan Patrick, you know, leaves himself open like he did in his 2 losses, and Bobby Green can capitalize on that. So in terms of my prediction, I believe that Green will take this one home, either via unanimous decision, as I said, or if he can catch Alan Patrick off guard and then, you know, unleash a right hand, you know, from out of nowhere and just completely stun him. But again, also, like, the reason why I say this is because if we want to compare the fighting records, if we want to compare the hunger, you know, we saw Bobby Green's speech. Alan Patrick's been out of the game for the past, you know, 2 years. You know, these kinds of things I think really do play a role in how fights will ultimately be decided. And so that's how I think the fight is going to go. Bobby Green will take this one home. But again, I'm interested to know what you guys think as well. Comment down below who you think is going to take this one home. And yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos. And if you do subscribe and I see you guys in the next one, then I'll see you guys in the next one.